Okay. We are going to start an interesting session on making thematic maps with QGIS. As in this training program, we have covered very useful emerging technologies, especially on GIS. We have seen spatial technologies, how GIS and remote sensing data have been used for detecting residual burning and yield prediction. So today we are going to have one very interesting and simple technique of representing your spatial data with the help of QGIS. QGIS is open source software, and Dr. Anshu Bhardwaj, who has got training on this from abroad also, as well as she has been teaching this course from the last 7-8 years. So she's going to, even though it is a 6 months course, we cannot do justice to the course in 1 hour, but she will tell the sources, and like she will expose the participants to the methodology so that you can use in your writing your papers and your research. So I would first of all, before inviting her for the lecture, let me just introduce you. Dr. Anshu Bhardwaj is a principal scientist at ICAR, Indian Agriculture Statistics Research Institute, in the discipline of computer application. She has been working on various projects related to artificial intelligence, machine learning, and also geospatial technologies. She is also co-partner in one of our recent project on remote sensing based yield prediction. And she's also teaching in Division of Computer Application and guiding MSc and PhD students in computer applications. She did her PhD in the area of spatial data mining from Jawaharlal Nehru University. So, I'm very happy to invite her for this lecture on making thematic maps using QGIS. So as I am telling you, this is just an exposure and sensitization on using this free software QGIS for making these thematic maps in social sciences. Along with Dr. Anshu, one of her colleague, student come colleague, PhD student, will also be joining for some hands-on. So I also welcome Lalit for this session. So Dr. Anshu, let us now proceed for the lecture. The lecture will end at 3:30 at the most, because we have our valediction due at 3:30, and you are invited for that too. So over to Dr. Anshu Bhardwaj. You are muted, I hope.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajni, for the introduction. And from my side, I welcome you all to this session, the last session of your training program. So, since I have a very limited time to tell you and get you acquainted with the QGIS, I will just go through a few of the slides, because since QGIS is a software, so there is not much theory to tell you about it. And once I'm over with the few slides that I want to show to you, then we can start with the hands-on. What we have planned for today's session is, we have planned very few simple basic exercises that we can start with when we are starting to learn QGIS. Since it is a software, we can have the learning on our own, self-learning kind of a thing. But how it works and what it is, I will just let you know about it. As I know about this training program, I think you already have got exposure to the applications of GIS and how we are using the remote sensing data and geospatial analysis for agricultural purposes. So now I'll just share my slides. Give me a moment. Dr. Rajni, I need the rights to share the screen.
Yes, ma'am. Again, time, ma'am. Now, feasible.
Is the screen visible now? Is the screen
Yes.
visible? Kindly
Yes,
let me know.
yes, madam. Yes, yes.
Yes, madam.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. So this is QGIS, making thematic maps. We all know that GIS is Geographical Information System. And whenever we talk of geography, what we visualize is having a map in front of us. And as they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, when we see a map, there are many things that we can infer from it. So QGIS is not a very old software in the market, but it has taken up very well being a open source software. So a few things about this. So QGIS until 2013, it was known as Quantum GIS. So when it started as a software with the name of Quantum GIS, Quantum Geographical Information System.
Anshu,
So it,
your screen is not moving, and please make it in slideshow mode.
yeah, it is in slideshow mode.
Then you have to again stop share and share it again because
Okay.
it's moving as well. Mhm.
Is it visible now?
Yes. Yes.
But it is not moving from my side also. Just let me sort it out. Is this visible?
Yes, visible, but again, it is not in slideshow form.
Yeah. Now it is in slideshow form. Now it is moving also.
But not for us.
No, is it moving now?
Not for us.
I don't know what is the problem. I can see that moving. Okay.
Then you continue with this format only, no problem.
Okay.
It is okay.
I think this will keep.
You can make it little bigger. This
Is it now? Now is it moving?
moving? It is moving, Anshu, but it is not
In the slideshow mode, yes.
No problem. You carry on with this only. No
Yeah, I will just make it a little bigger.
Yes.
So as we said that QGIS was known to be quantum GIS, and quantum GIS, when it started as quantum GIS. It is a free and open source cross-platform desktop geographical information system application that supports all kinds of processing that we can carry out on geographical data. That is viewing, editing, and analysis. So when we are looking forward to get some information from geospatial data, we have to have all these things. For example, we want to view it, how does it look like? Then if we have a data we want to edit it, we want to make some changes. So QGIS gives the provision of editing this of the data, and in fact the geospatial analysis, which is the important part of any data and data usage. It is a professional GIS application, as we know, and it is built up on top of and proud to be itself the free and open source software. We know that these days everyone is talking of open source software because of the accessibility. People are using more and more softwares which are open source so that they have the access to the software to handle their data. Earlier, there were many softwares in GIS which were working for geographical data or spatial data, but most of them were proprietary or licensed software. So there was a limitation to learning, even to the teaching also, because today here in this training program, I am talking of QGIS because I don't have the hiccups of having a licensed software, giving it to my trainees and letting them have the hands-on. Since it is an open source software, we can just install it and start working on it. So I'll go just a little fast so that you can have the hands-on session also. So what it is, as I said, it's an open source desktop application. It analyzes and edits the spatial data. By I expect that by this class, you must be knowing what spatial data is. But just to remind you that geographical data and spatial data are not same, but they are similar. Geographical data is a subset of spatial data. Spatial data means any data which has a space aspect attached to it. Space in terms of it can be with respect to a space within a building. Even the spatial data, if we talk of an MRI of a body is a spatial data, X-ray of a body is a spatial data, but it is not geographical. Whenever we talk of geographical data, that means it has to have a connection with the Earth's surface. So the connection or location on Earth's surface, whatever data is telling us about it is known as geographical data. And as we know, the geography of a thing or an object on the Earth's surface is known by its latitude and longitude. So any data which has longitude and latitudes attached to it, they are known as geographical data. Then what other thing QGIS does is it creates and exports maps. So this is the most interesting part. As I said, map looks like a beautiful picture in front of us, from which we can infer a lot many things. As any other GIS software, even QGIS incorporates many of the open source tools within itself so that it becomes more stronger and efficient and effective in dealing with the geographical data, which are GDAL, GRASS GIS, Post GIS, and Spatial Light. So these are some of the open source tools for GIS which it can incorporate in itself, and we can work on it. We would not go in detail of this. A little bit of history about QGIS. It was originally developed by Gary Sherman in 2002. So it is not very old. It has just completed 20 years. And in last 5 to 6 years, it has really geared up and taken and have got into any or all walks of life. People have started using it extensively. Then it was adopted in 2007. As I said, that everything when it starts, it evolves over the period of time. People take time to accept it. So this Open Source Geospatial Foundation adopted this software in 2007. And then 2013, the name was changed to QGIS. So Quantum GIS, from Quantum GIS, Q was taken and it came to be known as rechristened as QGIS. Now the latest version is 3.22.3, which it was not in testing. It is now there. And there are long time release also. So how does a GIS software differs from an Adobe Photoshop of any other photo editing softwares? It is that it is something like what we do using Adobe Photoshop. It is to making maps what Adobe Photoshop does with the images, because we know that we have an image, we take it to the Adobe Photoshop and we start editing it. Similarly, QGIS gives us the advantage of editing the maps. Now, I have been talking of editing the maps or viewing the maps, but we will start how we make the maps, because we are talking of making maps using QGIS. So it gives us the ability to create maps from scratch or from imported data. So map are created in various ways. One is that we have the hard copies, we bring it to the GIS software and we digitize it. This is one kind of creation of map. The other thing is we scan the map and then digitize it. The third thing is that we have the attribute table, or we have the data, the latitude, longitude, and the related data in a tabular format, and then we create the map out of that. So there are many things how the map is created. Now, once the data is there, the data is there, we modify or add the different parameters or variables or attributes to the existing map, or create a new map out of it. This software is set up so that each imported map or map feature is a layer. What is a layer? That we will come to know, because if you remember, I had talked of thematic map. So thematic, what is a thematic map? We have to understand that when we create a map, or when we make a map, we have a theme behind it. If to say that if I want the map of all kinds of soils in a particular agroecological zone of the country, then this map will have a theme of soil type. The theme is soil type, so this will be known as thematic map of soil type. So from the word theme, the thematic has come. And then the layers can be made of point locations, background. So what all these things are, that you will come to know when we will have a hands-on. So there are two main categories of maps that QGIS can assemble, along with the type of data which is required to make these maps. And these two kind of maps are, first, the map of event locations, such as where does the lightning lightning struck, or where we experience the earthquake or tornado or any other natural phenomena, or the locations of tagged animals. This is one kind of thing. Even we can have the maps of as I said, that it can be of crop residual burning, as you had already had a lecture on this. So these maps require importing the comma separated variables, like in CSV file or a text file. So once we import this kind of file, we can create the maps out of it. So for these kinds of maps, which are including these kinds of phenomena, we have to have a CSV or text file. And then contrary to these things, they can be saved with tabs, spaces, or other characters which are separating the information, and not just commas. If we are unsure how our CSV file is organized, simply we have to open it and a text editor such as a notepad to determine what characters separate rows and columns. So this is how we handle the CSV file before we bring it to the QGIS. And the second type of maps that can be created in QGIS are, maps of regions which colored according to data, such as a map of countries shaded by population. To create this map, we will need the ISRI shape file. Now, what is an ISRI shape file? I will just tell you a comparative statement of two softwares, where we'll talk of ISRI software. And this includes the country borders and names and IDs, as well as a CSV file that has country population or any other theme that we are making map out of it, by country name or country ID. Now, as I said, we have the ISRI shapefile, as you had just seen. ISRI is one of the oldest organization based in US, who had started with the first or the earliest GIS software, which is nowadays known as ArcGIS, if you have heard of it. The latest version of ArcGIS is ArcGIS Pro 2.8, and this is a commercial product, licensed one, which comes with a very high cost also. So there is a comparison of both of them. But since this is a software from an organization who had worked, researched a lot on geographical data, handling it, analyzing it, they had started creating different shape files. Shape files is a data type in geographical information system software. So any GIS software whether it is QGIS or any other one, they use the shape files which are prepared and developed by ISRI. So the ISRI has a software known as ArcGIS, and all the shape files which are ISRI has developed can be used by any other GIS software. So ArcGIS Pro is the closest commercial product which is similar to QGIS. It gives almost similar functions, but still ArcGIS and QGIS have some very important differences also. So how do we compare it? QGIS is free, we know that. ArcGIS Pro is annually pay for the licenses, which is a good amount of money. QGIS works on any kind of platform. As if you remember in the first slide, I told you that it's a cross-platform open source software. So you can work it on, use it on Windows, Mac, Linux, anyone. But ArcGIS has a restriction that it works only on Windows. QGIS can examine and modify the codes. If you have been analyzing some geographical data and you want to write your own code, you can write the code, you can modify it, or if QGIS is giving this analysis on its own code, source code, you can still examine that code. Whereas ArcGIS does not give this advantage to you. It is a black box where it does its analysis within itself, and we are not able to see what is happening, what is the code, and we cannot even modify that. Another important feature is that the lots of Googling to troubleshoot. You can have a lot of information that you can see on Google and get the things done or resolved. If you are facing any problems in QGIS, you can troubleshoot it using the Google or any search engine over the net, over the web. You can find the resolutions to your problem using QGIS. But for ArcGIS, it is very strict that we need to have their technical support to resolve the issues. Documentation is outdated in QGIS. This is one disadvantage because it is open source. Nobody owns it. So everybody thinks that someone else will do it. But for ArcGIS, the documentation is very, very good, very robust, and it is always up to date. Training material is available, and this is similar with ArcGIS. Many training material and examples are available. User interface can be confusing a bit on QGIS, which is very, very user friendly in ArcGIS. Since it is a commercial product, they have a very big team working behind it. They have their research and development wing, which is different and which keeps on doing many new things for ArcGIS. So it is very user friendly, and they are always with an objective. They work that they have to make it more user friendly, more understanding and easy to use. QGIS has no multi-threading support for spatial tools, whereas it has some multi-threading support for spatial data. So this is the basic difference between ArcGIS and QGIS. I would just go to some resource documentation that we can have for QGIS. This is the project website is there, and then training manuals are available on this website. User manuals are also, and then Python QGIS is documentation is also there. If somebody is working with Python and they want to use QGIS, they can use this. This is a very good tutorial which is available on the web, which can give very hands-on practicals also we can do when we start QGIS. So although I have many more slides, but looking into the time paucity, I would just request Lalit to share his screen, and we will start with installation of QGIS. Lalit?
Yes, ma'am.
Kindly share screen. I'm unsharing this.
Okay.
So to start with, we would first install QGIS. Lalit will be here, and I'm also here to just assist you that how you can install QGIS and then start working on it with very small examples to start with the basic things. This is, you can just get it on QGIS thing on the web.
My screen is visible, ma'am.
Yes, the screen is visible, Lalit.
Okay, thank you. So our first task is to how to download the QGIS and as a builder, which version we have to install. So first you have to open Google and just type QGIS, and you can see here the website. Welcome to the QGIS project. And again, you can see here the download option. Click on download.
आप लोग साथ साथ भी कर सकते हैं.
Yes, yes, you can do it too. Okay. Network is long. Yeah. So you can see the here several version of QGIS. QGIS in OSGeo 4W, but it is not recommended for the beginners. It is recommended for the regular user. And below that, you can also see here the some version, and it is recommended for the new users. But this version is in testing mode. So here you can see a tab, and from this tab you can see all release. So click on it, and previous release of QGIS are still available here. So click on it. So yeah, you can see here the different versions are available here. So I recommended that you should install these 2 point here. Just wait. This 2.18.28 version as a beginner. So click on it and you can install. Yeah, you can do it now. Yeah. So this is the version you have to install. Now next task is to we will do some practicals, how to add vector data and raster data in QGIS, and how to create a vector layer, and how to digitize our map. So we will see this practical in QGIS. So let me share it. Yeah. So here you can see the basic user interface of QGIS. Let me create a new project. This one. So here, this is the basic user interface of the QGIS. You can see here the toolbar. In this toolbar, you can see project option, edit, view, layer, setting, plugins, vector, and so on. Option is there. So through project option, you can create new project. You can open already created project, and you can save it. And there are many options are here. And you can see below this menu toolbar, you can see the this menu bar, you can see the toolbar. Here is the project toolbar. In this, there are many options are provided here. And at the leftmost side, you can see a panel window. And here you can see the layers is here. So which layer we are adding, we can see here. And at the middle, you can see the map view. Here map will be so. And at the right side, you can see the process toolbar. And at the bottom, you can see status bar. So in status bar, you can see the coordinate, scale, magnifier, rotation, and this coordinate reference system. So now our task is to how to add vector layer, or how to add raster layer. So here you can see the layer option. Click on this layer option, then you can see here the add layer. And again in add layer, you can see a raster, add raster layer. So here For adding raster layer, click on it, add raster layer. Then you can see here the source from where you can add your layer. So click on this three dot for browse. So I have already downloaded a image of India. So click on it, then open it, and then click on it and close it. So you can see in the map view, the map of India is available here. So this is our first task. We add the raster layer, or we can say we add the raster data in our QGIS. So now next step, we have to add vector data. So for this, you can click again on a layer. Then you can see the add layer, then add vector layer. Click on it. Now again, you have to choose your source from where you are upload the data. Click on it. So basically, I have already downloaded some save file from the internet. Let me load this. Yeah, you can add multiple vector layer at a time. So I'm doing this thing here. Open it, add it, and close it. So at layer panel, you can see different layers are added. Let me unclick it. So you can see here that we added a vector layer in India map. So this is the we added 4 vector layer. So the layer 0 is showing the India level, and layer 1 is showing the state level. So let me, you can see the state of India, and layer 2 is showing the district level. Let me unclick it, so you can see the district level map of India. And again, you can see block level of India. So this is the block level map of India. So up to this, we have to add the raster layer, and we have to add vector layer. So यहाँ तक किसी को कोई डाउट हो तो पूछ सकते हैं आप. हेलो.
Hello.
Yes.
You are audible, Lalit, and participants, like in case they have some questions, they will ask you. Okay, you can carry on.
Yes. If you have some question, please ask.
In chat.
From where do we get these layer data, which you have said that you have already downloaded it? From where do we download that?
There are many sources like Bhuvan portals and some other sources, ISRO sites, and there are many save files you can find from these sites, Bhuvan portal, and from ISRO site you can download this data. And you can also create these save files or vector data. In next practical, I will show how to digitization of map and how to create this save file from the raster data. Okay, so next practical is how to digitization of our map. Suppose you have downloaded India map, which is JPG format or any image format. You can see here this is in the map view. Now I want to the save file of this particular state of India. So suppose I want to extract this Uttarakhand from this JPG file or from this raster data. So basically, I have to create for this. I have to create a vector layer. So let us create vector layer. Go to the layer, then create vector layer. Then click on the new save file. Now give the name of your file. I think okay, Uttarakhand, and select a folder for in which you are saving your this file. Save it here. Now here is a geometry type. You can select polygon, and next is additional dimension. Keep it none, and you can see here the coordinate reference system. So EPSG is okay. Now give the name of field. So suppose I have used it. Now add to field this. So here I have added this field. Now click on OK. So you can see here that I have created a vector layer, this UK. You can see here I have created a vector layer UK. Now I have to extract this Uttarakhand map from this raster data. So how to do? So this you can see in toolbar. You can see option toggle editing. Click on it. Then you can see here the option add polygon features. Click on it. Then you have to draw a point around the boundary of Uttarakhand. So let me do. Click on it. You have to follow the boundary of Uttarakhand. Yeah. Then right click. Then you can see a field which I have already added. So let one. Then name. Okay. Then click on OK. So you can see pink color means I have extracted this Uttarakhand map from the raster data. So you can unclick it and see. So this is our UK map. Yeah, it is not perfectly, but you can do it by your own. Let me unclick and save. So this is our third practical digitization we have done. So up to this, any query, any question? Yes, participants, if you have any query, you can ask. Okay. So next practical we will do attribute joining. So let me unclick it and again click it. Let me open again.
ना खाना खा लो मम्मी। नहीं मैंने खाया, मैं तो क्लास चली रही ना 15 मिनट और चलो, मतलब खाऊंगी 15 मिनट में।
Anshu, your mic is on.
Let me open new project. I have already done this practical. So our next practical is how to join attribute in our SF file. So
Dilip, just wait for a while. जो participants हैं, any participant has any other any questions? Actually, because the time is very less, so he is going a little fast. But the motive will get defeated if you are not understanding anything.
Yes, yes.
तो सर नो मैम, अभी ऐसा कोई क्वेश्चन तो आया नहीं है, आएगा तो
ठीक है, so we can move ahead, right?
ओके मैम।
अच्छा, एक चीज से पहले देखिए, जो आपका राइट साइड पैनल है एक, जहां पर आपको ये प्रोसेसिंग टूल बॉक्स दिख रहा है, वहां आप जो मैंने आपको बताया था ना कि कुछ जो ऑनलाइन हमारे पास टूल्स हैं जीआईएस में जो इनकॉर्पोरेटेड हैं, वो यहाँ आप देख सकते हैं। GDL, ग्रास एंड सेगा, दे आर ऑल इनकॉर्पोरेटेड इन QGIS, राइट? सो ये कैसे यूज होते हैं, दैट यू विल कम टू नो once you start working on it. So Anju Bhagat is asking which basic version is needed to be installed. Okay, अंजू, बेसिक वर्जन ये है कि आप जो भी देखेंगे जब आप डाउनलोड करेंगे, वर्जन हो आप वही डाउनलोड कीजिए, क्योंकि बिल्कुल बेसिक वर्जन में तो आपको हो सकता है कि बहुत सारी फंक्शनैलिटीज ना भी मिले, बिकॉज इट इज कंटिन्यूअसली गेटिंग इम्प्रूव्ड। फाइन, हाँ, ओके दिलीप, ललित, you can move ahead.
Okay, okay. So suppose someone give me data and told me that you have to add this data on this map and analyze this data. So so for this I'm doing the joining attribute in the map. So for this you have to see here the so for this you can see here the layer. Again create a again you have to add a vector layer, and this click on this delimited text. Now you have to select your CVS format and select your CVS file from your folder. So you have see the I have already this migration data of Madhya Pradesh. Then open it. Then you can see here the sample data. So here the district name and the migration of total person and migration male migration and female migration. So add it and close. So you can see here the MP migration layer I have added, and you can see the attribute of this table. Right click on it and open attribute table. So you can see here the also the data is here. Now our next task is to join this migration data with the district level map. So for this, right click on it, district, select this district level and right click on it, and then click on properties. So you can see here the join option. So click on it, then you can see here the plus symbol in green color. Click on it. So add new join. Okay, let me first delete it. Then you can see here the join layer. So at migration layer, I'm joining the data, and again you have to select the join field. At which field you are joining. So here I'm joining at name field. In targeted field, you have to also select the targeted field. So here I'm selecting the name field, and then click on OK. Then you can see here the join layer NP migration. Now apply, click on apply, and then click on OK. Now आपको एक ऐसा पता चलेगा कि आपने जो डाटा ज्वाइन किया है वो हुआ कि नहीं। इसके लिए आप यहाँ पे राइट क्लिक करें एट डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल, right click on it, and then see the open attribute table. So you can see here the data is joined. Yeah, MP migration total person you can see here in the column, and male migration you can see here, and female migration. You can also see here. And you can also verify this by click on this organize columns. So here you can see this join symbol. Means I have joined these three field in this table. It is okay. Now our next task is how to analyze this data in this QGIS. For this, you can symbolize your map. Again, right click on it and then click on property. Then you can see here the option symbology. Click on symbology. There are many options provided here, but I'm using only one, graduated. Then value, you can select the field. So I'm selecting total migration.
Lalit, you have only 7-8 minutes with you. So accordingly, you plan it.
Okay, ma'am. So here legal format is percent fund and two is okay. Now color map, you can choose your color map on the basis of your requirement. Now you can see here the classes. So on the basis of your requirement, you can select, you can define the classes. Here I can define 3, 4, and I can define also people like let me define 2 and click. You can also choose the mode. Mode means on the which basis you are classifying your data. So here I'm classifying on the basis of the content, and click on classify, and then click on apply, and then click on okay. So, this is yes, this you can see here that I have created 2 class, red class and a class with red color, a class with white color. So you can see here that the migration is between I think 3,32,000 to 5,72,000 is indicating in red color, and rest is indicating in white color. So this is the symbolizing and up to how to join the attribute in our save file or in our mail. So up to this, you have any query, please ask. Otherwise, I will close this practical session. So participant, any query, any question?
Some question will be in chat box. No?
Okay. Which basic version is needed to install? Yeah, I already told you have to install basically 2.18 for beginner. If you are know something about QGIS, then you can move earlier version like a 3.22, like a 3.24. So GPS data means you are talking about the images and some I think TIFF format type data. Yeah. So for longitude and latitude, here the option is also provided. continue. So processing. Yeah, for longitude and latitude, you can see here the option in raster geo reference. Using this geo reference, you can add latitude or longitude in your map. So you are asking about this now. Any question? Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, Lalit.
Well, I think no question here. Can I close it? Ma'am, can I answer it?
Yes, you can close it. Okay, so this was just a very quick overview of QGIS. Uh, I know that it was a very short time, but if whoever of you are interested in using this QGIS software, they can definitely at least start with installing it, and then slowly they can take up small exercises and learn it. But as we all know that nowadays spatial aspect is very important to be attached to each kind of data or data analysis. So these softwares, whether it is ArcGIS or QGIS, if somebody has ArcGIS, they can work on that also. But otherwise, QGIS is something which we can easily install. It does not even take much time to install. And as Lalit was telling that there was a question that where you can get the layer data or the spatial data. There are many resources from where there are very many repositories where you can get this data. Some of the data is free. Other data you can buy also if you are taking up some study and find you have to take this data for your study or analysis or some application development. Then there are many resources which we can later on share with you. There is a lot of resource available on internet for QGIS in terms of manuals, small exercises and tutorials, some of which I have shared. I can share it with Dr. Rajni also so that you can also have it. And then you can start with the basic operations, how to uh, start in QGIS and create a map. So any other particular question as for the version was concerned, Lalit has already told you, but otherwise also you can just, when you go on the internet to download this software, you can find the version there. Any questions? Okay, so thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Anshu. Thank you very much. I know there have been many changes in your lecture, but you were kind enough to agree at every time. Whatever.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah, given free hand for whatever time I can do it. Even I had to change the title also, thinking that some aspects were covered in the earlier lectures by Dr. Vinay Sagar.
Vinay Sehgal. No, that's fine. It's absolutely fine. It is always a pleasure to interact with the candidates, although I had very less time, but it's a very important topic that you had asked me to deliver.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lalit ji, for
Thank you, Lalit. Yes.
your assistance during this practical session. Just for the participants, Lalit is a PhD student here at ISRI, and he is working on this geospatial technologies. So he's a kind of expert for us with lots of hands-on. So I will share the numbers to you in case you have any problem. You can even talk to him while working with this. So thank you very much once again, both of you. You are invited to join our valedictory session also. So we are going to begin our valedictory session in few minutes here itself. So thank you once again.
Dr. Rajni,
Uh-huh.
if they want, you can give 4 or 5 minutes to them, no?
Yes, we will have
5-minute break. And,
our chief guest is already there. I think
sir has come.
we can give them 2-3 minutes. Okay, 3:35 we will start.
So that they can be ready and they can they might have identified who will give feedback and all.
That we have identified, no issue. So 3:35 we will start a short break.
Yes.
Hello. Huh? Okay.